Hello, I'm Soap, and today I'm going to be showing you my new candy farming routine because I've changed some things very slightly in the new Royal Halloween update. First, I'm going to show you what I do for my farming routine, then I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on the mini games that I don't use in my farming routine. First, obviously, you collect the candy balls from the Campus 4 office and in front of the Falling Leaves Festival. And while you're in Campus 4, make sure to collect candy from your candy bowl and other people's candy bowls in the dorms and stuff. If you have gravestones, they give you 20 candy every 20 minutes. And you could buy as many as you want, but they are quite expensive, so there's a point where they're not really worth it. And if you have the Halloween lockers that give you candy, which I very highly recommend. I know they're 8,000, which is quite expensive, but it's worth it for years like these when the Halloween update comes out a bit late, and so you can farm before the actual update starts. So every hour you get 250 from that. Make sure to collect candy from these candy balls and your lockers every hour in between farming. The main reason why my farming technique has changed is because tickets are now available every 5 minutes, and you get 10 every 5 minutes. And last year it used to be 20 every in-game day, but now we don't have to wait for a whole day to go by to get more tickets, just 5 minutes. So farming is a lot more fast-paced and a lot less forced. This means there's not one way that's the best way of farming, really. Really just do whatever you're comfortable with, because candy farming can be really boring and it takes a long time. Just do what you find is fun, so you're actually motivated to keep farming, because it's quite unclear what we're actually farming for at the moment. But I'm gonna just show you what's best for me. Every time you claim 10 tickets, always go for the leaf cleanup minigame, because it's the one that gives you the most. And the best way to do this is to do the ballerina spin on full speed, so you don't miss any leaves, because sometimes they're in the floor for no reason, and zoom in while you're walking around trying to get all the leaves. And I'll show you where all the leaves are located. So obviously they're on the general path, also they're kind of in this area which goes through, and that's where most of the time they go down the floor. They're near the campfire and up the path to there. They're in the outside area of the cafe. They're on the right side of the barn and on top of the roof of the barn. Really be careful about the bits on the smaller part of the roof, because you might miss that. They're on the bridge on the way to the barn, so don't forget that. They're around the ride, and they're on the stage and behind the stage and the general vicinity of the stage. The amount of leaves to pick up goes from 500 to 700, so on average there's 600 leaves, and you get 1 candy per 4 leaves, so on average you get 150 candy, so this is the best minigame. It does take a long time though. With the remaining 4 tickets, I use it in the Magic Ball booth, where you do the match game. This used to be a really bad way to farm, but now that it's 1 ticket, it's the best, because you get on average 20 candy per 1 ticket, which is more than all the other mini games, except from the acorn counting one, but since there's a chance of error, this is the better one. That's basically it for my routine. I just repeat that over and over in between classes. So now I'm going to give you tips on how to do these classes. So basically in Pumpkin Patch Harvest, you literally just find the biggest pumpkin, but you don't really want to go too far because you walk incredibly slowly with the heavy pumpkins. So try to compare your pumpkins to other people's, and to the others around you. You can swap them to see which one's bigger, and try to be quicker than everyone else. Other than that, there's not really much you can do. I forgot to mention, after you get the majority of your leaves, you don't have to get all of them. You might want to try and get all of them to get the badge. I just got it today. But once you get most of the leaves, just buy the leaf thing again and all the leaves will respawn. Okay, now tips on the corn maze. So you want to go into your settings and change your light mode to in love, because that makes it really bright, so you don't really have a need for your torch. Zoom in, and basically the aim is to get to the middle, obviously. So first you want to go kind of central until you can see the portal through the corn. So I'm gonna the maze is different every time, so there's no direct path. I'm successful 75% of the time. So there's the portal, you can see it through the corn, so you just want to basically go around until you get to it. I was really lucky this time. Yeah, and you get around 90 candy, but I wouldn't rely on that stat because I'm on a pirate server. Okay, now on to the tips for the Witch Night Flight, which is basically just the old flying class. So you want to zoom in and start flying before the timer goes down. I teleported in a bit late for this one. And just follow the path, it's nothing really special. If you miss some, it's not the end of the world, but you do want to get all 50. Okay, now's the apple picking contest. Basically, you just need to get more apples than everyone else. My old tip would be to stand in an apple before the timer goes down, but they now changed the spawn points of apples, so you can't do that. So it's actually much easier to just fly into the apples and click on them. You just want to avoid other people. On private server, it's really hard to find apples. I don't really have any good tips for this because I'm not that good at the apple picking. But you do want to get at least 15, I think. Okay, now some tips for the pageant. They no longer have themes for the pageant, which I think is really unfair because before you could actually like base it off outfits, but now it's just like your normal outfits, like there's no theme or anything. So what you want to do is make people like you, so be like, good luck everyone, but don't try too hard. Stand close to everyone, so that because I just click whoever's close to me because I can't be bothered when I'm voting. Play with your friends if you have any friends who play Royal High, because that way you get roses. And yeah, I guess make good outfits. I prefer to play in private server, but you get much more candy if you play in public servers. That's why I don't have footage of me doing the pageant, just because I don't normally film in public servers. Okay, now on to tips for the other minigames. For baking, only choose the items that are 2 tickets, because otherwise the candy per ticket is not worth it. So you get 15 candy per ticket for the ones you pay 2 tickets for, which is like lower average for other minigames. And if you could do 2 at a time, do that. And while you're mixing and your food's in the oven, you want to go get leaves while you're waiting, because otherwise it's a waste of time. You want to maximize the time you're getting that candy, basically. You get the least amount of candy doing this minigame, but it's probably the most fun, and you can do things in the intervals. And it's probably a good thing to be burning through tickets quickly, because my routine often happens much slower than how often the tickets regenerate. Okay, so the 8-con counter, this used to be the best minigame before they lowered the matching card minigame tickets amount. So my tip for this is count the 8 corns out loud. That's how I remember them, because if you keep it in your head, you're probably gonna forget. On average, you get 20 candies per ticket, which is decent, but still there's a chance of error, and if you fail, you get like absolutely nothing, so sometimes it's not worth it. Plus, this is probably one of the most boring mini games. Okay, so yeah, that's my updated candy farming routine. If I'm completely honest, I don't candy farm that often because what am I actually farming for? But this is what worked last year when I was farming, plus with improvements because there's been changes this year. So I am gonna make a video on how underwhelming the Royal Halloween update is, but I wanted to get my routine out there first. So yeah, thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.